My name is Benjamin Chong, and I am thrilled to be here along with my co-director Paul Krzyzewski as we give you a super warm welcome to our demonstration day. It's fantastic to see mentors, investors, partners, friends, and most importantly, our graduating founders with us here today. So whether you've been part of the journey since day one, or whether you're simply joining us tonight, thank you for being here to support early stage tech companies in Australia and New Zealand. We'll have a brief introduction to the Founder Institute. Then we'll hear from Libby Roberts, our friend and fellow founder who took part in the program a couple of years ago, and she has since been running her business Leap Forward. She'll be talking about her journey, talking about some of the interesting things she's been up to. Before we hear from Jacomi Matthews, we'll also be sharing about his journey and what he has been up to of late. We'll then hear some reflections on my over 13 years of tenure with Founder Institute, what has worked, what could work better. Many of you have asked, well, what is this Founder Institute? Well, we're the world's largest pre-seed accelerator, built around a single goal, and that is to help talented individuals wherever they are to become successful startup founders. And our journey is at the incubator or the pre-seed stage. We help founders and small teams validate, form and build fundable startups, usually before they raise their first amounts of series capital. We're a pre-seed accelerator. Most of our founders, when they start our program, are part-time. And we help these teams get initial traction so that they can prepare for pre-seed funding. We run a program that is in many countries around the world. And here are some of the portfolio companies, you might recognise them, in our region. And it starts with this 14-week program called Founder Institute Core, where founders validate their ideas, they sharpen their business models, and they push themselves to get real traction. This program runs over 14 weeks, and each week there is feedback from mentors, either on Tuesday nights or feedback through office hours. At the Founder Institute, we are a fan of this startup rule of one: solve one problem for one customer with one product that has a killer feature and one revenue stream. These are some of the major benefits of being part of an acceleration program. At Founder Institute, you get constant feedback, and there is post-program support. So the founders that we're celebrating tonight are going to benefit from all of these perks, including $2 million in partner discounts. More importantly, getting access to the funding lab and the leadership lab, where they'll learn how to get a lead investor for their pre-seed round and build their management and leadership skills. Here's what happens in the funding lab: outreach and refinement, final deck reviews, building momentum, and get this, closing. You've heard that term, always be closing. Here are some of the benefits that I mentioned before: Amazon Web Services, Google, and so on. And Gagan, who is one of the Founder Institute's famous alum, has said that the network is amazing. Without Founder Institute, they would not have raised money. Founder reviewed in you. Founder Institute has built a global ecosystem that empowers entrepreneurs everywhere, because it does require a global network of leaders, advisors, and investors. Some of you here may not be familiar with Founder Institute. A warning, and I think some of our founders will share this with you today: it is a hard process. But that is because building a fundable startup is even harder. Like, life is not easy. They don't give you checks or customers on every street corner. People who start the program are able to come back later if they realise that their startup is not quite right now. One of the other things that we offer is the Entrepreneur DNA Assessment. This is a psychographic test that allows for you to work out what are some of your key attributes that will help you be successful. I've taken the test. I've taken the test more than once, in fact. It's a good, fun thing to do, and it's a wonderful tool to be using, especially for your early team, so you can work out what are the complementary skills that you wish to attract. You can have a go doing it for free. I don't know whether you want to be a prodigy or whether you'd want to be some other archetype, but I definitely encourage it. Isn't that cool? Very high curiosity. Good for learning. Next week, we are going to have the privilege of hosting a pitch session for those of you interested. We've got Neil Smith, who's a CTO, co-founder of Simple KYC. He is a Founder Institute alum. We've got Ryan Cross, who's been one of our top-rated mentors at Founder Institute in this part of the world. And he sees all sorts of things in his role in his day job at AWS, helping with people's prototyping. And I'll be there to help you learn how to pitch your startup idea, how to get that feedback. And isn't that interesting? Back here, high curiosity. Emotional control, helpful, right? And hopefully it means that you can take feedback from mentors who are wanting to give you, hopefully, some nuggets so that you can improve. We've got another event. This is in July, 15th of July. William Wang, he is an exited founder. He has been one of our top-rated mentors too. He'll be talking about how do you grow B2B and B2C with AI. He's got this phenomenal talk. He'll be able to help you understand how you can make use of the latest tools. Very exciting. And this applies to you even if you're at the earlier stages. Because wouldn't it be wonderful to speak with more customers, more potential customers, to get a sense of how they're thinking? If you want to get to more events, go to fi.co/events. In Australia and New Zealand, we've had the privilege of backing more than 150 founders over the past decade. We're very proud of the community that's formed, mentors, alumni, investors who keep showing up to help the next wave of entrepreneurs. And our Australia-New Zealand chapter thrives because of this ecosystem. Thank you for being part of it. A great and deep thank you to our mentors who generously give of their time and sometimes their brutally honest feedback. So here are some of our key mentors. I'd also like to thank our legal partner, Rebecca Dooley and her team at Addison's. They help particularly on legal and equity. And Rebecca puts out a whole bunch of free, that's right, free office hours with an expert partner of one of Australia's well-regarded law firms, particularly when it comes to commercial for startups. So thank you very much, Rebecca, for your support. And then finally, to Paul Krzyzewski, my fellow co-director, thank you for your ongoing work and desire to support tech founders in this region. Founders, tonight is about you. You've done the hard work to get here, and we're incredibly proud of what you've achieved.
Thanks so much for inviting me. I'm excited to share AI-powered mental health intervention, and we are actually transforming lives with this tool. The problem that we're solving is the burden of mental health decline. You know, a century ago, our grandparents lived through 2 world wars and the Great Depression, and they kept calm and carried on. But these days, it seems that mental health is on the decline across the globe. Here in Australia, 1 in 5 Australians experience mental health issues every year, while 1 in 3 psychologists are at capacity and can't take new clients. 25% of workers take time off each year for stress-related reasons. Mental health claims represent 12% of total claims, but consume almost 40% of costs. So it's clearly a massive problem that we need to solve. And our solution to the crisis is Leap Forward, a precision psychology tool delivering evidence-based prevention and recovery programs. It's delivered via app, providing daily content that's specifically designed to build resilience and well-being in the user. The heart of our program is Lucy, our generative AI well-being coach, who delivers immediate, accurate support. Forget impossibly long waiting lists or unaffordable fees. Access to our clinically trained generative AI coach is affordable whenever you need it. Lucy creates a safe, non-judgmental environment for users so they can explore sensitive topics that they might not be ready to discuss with a real person. And you might be thinking, well, this sounds great, but does it actually work? Well, our approach has been independently verified by 3 university studies, and our users have been shown to have 25% average reduction in psychological distress, and 98% of users report improved wellbeing scores. And these clinical outcomes are matched by exceptional engagement metrics. We've got 77% sustained engagement across our users. and a net promoter score of 72, indicating really strong user satisfaction. So these metrics demonstrate that Leap Forward isn't just effective clinically, but it's a solution that people actually use. To sort of reflect on my journey since I left Founder Institute, well, we released our MVP about 2021. We've done pilots with a couple of big insurance companies as proof of concept, and that's when we had the results analysed. We worked with a couple of different universities. We've had the results published, which has given us a lot of credibility and allowed us to really start to work with more and more corporate clients. And in the early days, we were experimenting with generative AI before the days of OpenAI. And then in November 2022, when ChatGPT came on the scene, that accelerated everything that we were able to do. We've sort of pivoted more quickly than we were expecting, and we've taken OpenAI's large language model and we've trained it, and we've now built our own generative AI coach. It's been a really exciting journey, and to be honest, I would not be here if it wasn't for Founder Institute. It's given me a really solid base on which to build a startup, because it's not like anything I've ever done before. I have built a company previously, but building this technology startup is completely different. And having the advisors and the mentors who have been with me for the entire journey from 2019 right through to now. I still am in contact with Ben and with Paul and others from overseas. It's a really invaluable network that you've got access to. That's my journey so far. It's been really exciting, and anyone there who's thinking about joining Founder Institute, I can not recommend it more highly.
I got invited to pitch this to 170 investors at the Computer History Museum in Silicon Valley or Mountain View back in early April this year. Founders Institute gave us some great baseline stuff when we were going. Their funding lab after you do this core bit was exceptional. Founders Institute also provided introductions when I was over there, which were really, really good in terms of just getting a lay of the land in the healthcare and the funding space over in Silicon Valley and America generally. And then I was also, before I go through the pitch, invested in via Loyal VC, which only invest in graduates of the Founder Institute and or from INSEAD business school. That's all they invest in. They only invest 10 grand US initially, but then when you hit certain metrics, every month they look at the metrics and they're top of their portfolio. They're Canadian based, but they invest globally. They actually invest a further 200,000 US. But you got to meet their metrics, and they can change every month depending on how the competition is across their portfolio. But they've been also very good. Their network, like the Founders Institute, is global. Very good feedback from their advisors, which has been very helpful in both introductions and others. We are currently, since going to America, I'm going to be moving over there in the next 6 months because we've got a lot of interest. We've actually had $1 million committed so far to our current round. They really like and see that we're solving a problem over in the US market. I'm actually currently with some of the investors there, actually giving pushback because they want me to drop everything in Australia and just focus on America. But I'm going, look, we've just got it to a point here where we're getting revenue and we're almost ready to scale. Part of that money we're going to raise is going to help us get some incoming revenue that's decent size in Australia while we're still building from almost the ground up in America. So there's some interesting conversations going on there. But without further ado, why don't I start this pitch? It is 4 minutes. That's what I had to do in Silicon Valley. And it's the exact deck. I haven't changed anything, just to give you an idea of what I did pitching. Pitching in America is a little bit different to Australia. And I got feedback from both Founders Institute advisors and Loyal VC ones before I did do that pitch in America. My name is Jacomi. I'm a co-founder of GoTo.Health. We are reimagining healthcare access with a find and book solution that brings price transparency and clinic efficiency to every patient booking. Now, healthcare appointment booking is broken. I'd like you all here this evening to think about the last medical appointment you tried to book. If it was via the phone, you no doubt experienced long wait times, or if it was online, there was just endless clicking, endless inputting data, etc. There was no price transparency and very limited availability. Well, you're not alone. And then the problem due to cancellations, reschedules, and appointment no-shows. Our solution fundamentally fixes these problems with three key differentiators. There's no upfront cost. Clinics only pay per booking, so we're aligning incentives with the clinic. There's true price transparency for patients. They see actual out-of-pocket costs, gap payments, or Medicare rebates up front before they confirm an appointment. There's seamless clinic integration. We've got clinics onboarding in an average 1.1 minute, 57 seconds. So this is making adoption easy. Globally, healthcare bookings are valuable. In America alone, 150 billion is lost each year due to appointment cancellations, reschedules, and no-shows. This is a massive leakage problem. I myself have had 2 successful exits since 2001. My co-founder and team have over 70 years of experience of growing and scaling businesses, and our advisory board consists of GP, pharma, health insurance, payments, and marketplace expertise. Traction-wise in Australia, these numbers speak for themselves. Over 3,476 clinics, 42% of our weekly clinic sign-ups are organic and 100% self-service. And on the patient side, clinics are telling us they're seeing a 23% increase in bookings compared to when they were using Health Engine or HotDoc. Some of them are still using either Health Engine or HotDoc as well as us, but they're still seeing this uplift. In terms of real-world impact, we actually tested this with chiropractors in Melbourne. And as you can see here, the competitors didn't even show all available clinics in that particular area, whereas GoTo.Health displayed all available clinics, Google ratings, real-time insurance adjusted prices with instant booking. Now we save the clinic money. It costs an average clinic of $50 to $125 to acquire a new patient. Our model delivers bookings at a lower cost, directly benefiting clinics. Clinics have actually told us that our pricing is extremely attractive and it's very low risk for them. Because AI is a big thing, in the background, we've been using AI and we are becoming the go-to personal health companion where we're using machine learning to deliver assisted appointment recommendations based on population data, patient health history, and demographics to drive better health outcomes at scale. Our signed partnerships with practice management software suites, health insurers, and air wallets deliver global beachhead opportunities where we actually have access to over 20,000 clinics globally. We're raising 2.5 million and our traction proves the model works. Now we're ready to scale. And finally, GoTo.Health isn't just another platform. We're redefining healthcare access. The problem is urgent, the solution is proven, and the market is massive. Invest in GoTo.Health and help transform the future of healthcare. Thanks for your time.
Well, tonight's demo day, it's not just a pitch night, it's a graduation. And the Founder Institute program is tough, deliberately tough. As you might know, globally, fewer than 30% of people who take part in Founder Institute make it to the end. So being here tonight is a marker of your resilience, your grit, and your determination. At Founder Institute, we talk a lot about founder DNA, and it's a mindset that I believe separates those who start from those who finish. It's persistence in the face of feedback, rejection, late nights and pivots. It's taking action when it might seem uncomfortable and hopefully leading with clarity when the path is uncertain. Every one of you has demonstrated that. But the journey doesn't end here. In many ways, it's just begun. The next 6 months will define your startup's future. Will you build momentum? Will you lose it? My challenge to you is this: take the clarity and the momentum that you've gained in this program in the last 14 weeks, use it to win customers, to attract believers, and build something real. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I was chatting with some of the folks at the Founder Institute Global team in California, and I confirmed with them something that they had shared with me a few years ago, and that is speed out of the gate matters. So if you look at founders like Jacomi, like Libby, they continued to make progress immediately after the program. Sure, there have been some pivots, there have been some refinements, some changes from when they finished the program to now, but they kept on going. They didn't take a very long holiday before making their progress. So my strong encouragement to you is that, yes, take a deep breath, enjoy, relax for a moment, but get ready to roll your sleeves up, to knuckle down, and to push. Because if you continue to demonstrate this speed out of the gate, you will hopefully win customers. And maybe the customers that you get tomorrow may not be the customers that you will need in 6 or 12 or 2 years' time, but you will attract believers and you'll build something real. So we'll be cheering you on. If you want to call me about your cap table or what investors term really means, go right ahead. You've got my deets. Paul and I, along with the FI team, will be looking forward to hearing from you and connecting you with the right people. Please come back as mentors, advisors, or investors one day. And if you ever need a reminder of what you're capable of, remember tonight, you've already done something that most people never even start.